This film also had the creepiest Santa. And you could,
oh my god, yes! We need to find the fourth dimension, and by finding all these tiny little perfect things that happen in our neighborhood or in our town or whatever, we're gonna find the fourth dimension, and we're missing one. I'll pick Andrew Garfield. Peter 3.
Peter 3.
Ooh, that comic book filter.
This green ball?
This green tennis ball is Vecna, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're talking about Chippendales the dancers, right? Not Chippendales the chipmunks? Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
Hey, Cinema Peeps.
Hey, Cinema Peeps.
Welcome to the Sleepy Podcast. A podcast where we take a nap and you watch us sleep, I guess. That's kind of weird. Never
peacefully
mind.
Dream.
Peacefully dream. Oh! Actually, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a rough sleeper, but no one else can vouch for me. So
right?
There we go. I try to be really small, but, you know. I've definitely woken up in weird positions, but...
Oh, yeah.
Just, like, my legs all the way up to the sky. I'm like, what the fuck's happening right now?
Just do a full, 360 around the bed.
That's what it feels like sometimes. I'm like, how did this happen? I know I slept walk a couple times as a teenager, but as far as I know, again, no one can vouch for me. I don't think I've done it. I mean, I don't know. Sleepwalking seems like it's weird how it's like something that you can't experience yourself, but it's something that's like, oh, I slept walk? That's so cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, why? I didn't get to experience it all. Like, my poor mother had to deal with me. I can't remember. Like, I can't even remember what I was even dreaming about, but we have like a hallway, like linen closet, and I guess she was woken up because there was all this banging, and I guess I like opened it and was like walking into it.
Oh no.
And she was like, oh my God, no. And then she like put me back to bed. And then sometime later I got up again, went to their room, and somehow got into their shower and was just bouncing off the walls in the shower. Because the shower is like it was like it's a little stand-up circular shower. So
gotcha.
No many places to go. I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck? Again, I mean, sounds exciting, but like I did not get to experience any of it. So
right?
There you go.
And I've seen enough horror movies where they've used that as a trope for like whatever possession's been going on or like getting haunted and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I'm good.
No spirits here, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Hey, demons, it's your boy.
It's your boy. It's your girl.
It's your girl.
What up? Oh, what did I see on Sextagram? Oh, I think it was for the Insidious movie? No.
Yeah, there's another one. They were advertising it for Father's Day, too. I was like, what?
Well, because there's that scene with the guy in, like, the MRI or whatever machine, and the lights go out, and he's like, hello? And then all I heard was, like, this... And I was like, oh, absolutely not.
You're like, no, hard pass.
And then it pans to, like, his feet, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's just... Ugh. And then the thing came out, and I was like, ugh. I was like, no,
right?
No.
Oh, I know. Well, there was another ad they did where they'd have, like, just, like, nice light clips of like men with their children spending time being like, oh, don't you have a great time this Father's Day, spend some time with your dad. And it would be like all this montage of these people spending time with their dads, and then it would cut and like have like these little flashes of like the demon creature thingy from the movie, and then it would like show clips of the guy from the movie, and like just it was like this weird thing, and then it turned into the horror movie, and I was like, this is disturbing.
Interesting marketing. Interesting
marketing.
I mean, we're talking about it now, so I guess it worked.
I guess so. I don't know if I'm just completely like numb to horror movies now, but I feel like some of the tropes that they use, or at least some of the jump scares or the types of things they do, just seem old to me now. Like they're just like, okay, let's do something else.
Well, to be fair, you've seen like 3 billion horror
True.
films. Like, there's gonna be some overlap because I feel like, I mean, to be fair, not just horror, but like anything in general, they do something that's different, and then everyone goes, "Oh, I like that too." So then everybody starts doing it, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that for a veteran like yourself, you're like, this is boring."
Right.
And I'm just like,
you're like, ah! Yeah, right. I don't know. I just everything that I've seen lately, it's been they do the same thing where they have like, it's like, oh, what was that? And then everything goes dead silent, and then it's like you hear the creepy footsteps, like it's like those. I don't know. It's just all the same to me, and I'm like, okay, let's try a different jump scare. Like there's other ways to scare people. Than
yeah,
just, like...
people. Kendra is fucking bored with your bullshit. Get your fucking shit together, okay? Get on that. Although it's interesting, obviously sound does, again, play a really big part in, like, making horror.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, as we've learned time and time again, as, like, filmmakers, sometimes we always forget about music and sound effects and how powerful they can be. It kind of reminds me of when I did high school drama, and our teacher, again, was talking a lot about, like, people will react to sound before they react to something visual.
Yes.
So when you're doing plays, like, having those sounds are, like, very important. I remember one time, because I don't remember what play we were doing. I think it was, like, a made-up one, just for, like, a unit in school. Mm-hmm. And I was going to come down from the top of the theater, because, like, our stage was down below, and then all the seats were angled like that. So I was at the top, going to make, like, a kind of a grand entrance in, but I was trying to poke my head in so I could kind of, like, obviously see and hear everything. Mm-hmm. But then my teacher was like, hold up. And she was like, go back to class, whoever you are. I'm like, no, it's just me. And then she's like, oh, never mind. I was like, it's part of the play. I'm sorry. But again, obviously, I thought I was being really quiet, but obviously she could either hear the creak of the door or something. She could clearly hear me. So, and that takes you like right out of it. So
yeah, exactly. Yep.
Using sound to your advantage can be very useful.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I feel like I've said this before. I really like doing foliage when I can. Like, any opportunity I get to be like, oh, I get to do this, like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, definitely.
I love, like, I mean, as of late, I've mostly just been, like, Googling sound effects. But, like, I remember a couple times that I actually got the opportunity to, like, do it. I'm like, love it.
Yeah,
so cool.
There was one time you did a really, really good sound effect for one of our Halloween shorts. I think it was for Jack, where you did the whole like you were doing like the really cool whisper thing, or maybe it was for Deadly Presence. I can't remember which one you did.
Yeah, I did some creepy wind for Deadly Presence. I think I did some like walking foliage for Jack. For a different project I did, we did like smacking up like this, like like when you put gloves on, you do that little smack effect. Mm-hmm. But I actually ended up using rubber dish gloves to make that snapping sound effect.
Oh, nice.
So, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's because it's also, like, so creative because you have to be... Because I think what we sometimes associate with, like, certain objects having certain sounds isn't always the case.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you have to really think outside and be like, okay, like, this is the sound I want to create. How do I create it?
Yeah. And something that has impact, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was a guy I was following on Instagram, and he was a Foley artist from Toronto.
Oh, cool.
And I loved watching how he did, like, short films and showing the process. Especially things like punches in films where, like, it's like a 3... Like, some of them are, like, a 3-level... I mean, this one he was doing was 3, but, like, so many could be a combination of 3 or more sounds to create, again, this thing that you think it is.
Yeah, definitely. It's neat too when like they'll show their studio and it's like they'll pull the floorboards out and there's just like a little box with like rocks in it and water to show like a certain texture that they walk on, or like sand or whatever, right? It's so cool.
Man, talking about this now, I do want to make a horror film so I just want to do the Foley for it. If we do one this year, I just want to do the Foley for it.
I was thinking about it the other day, so we have to do it for sure now.
Hell yeah. I just want to do the Foley for it.
We'll have to think of a good idea.
Right? I'm sure we can. We got one. We got one in our little old brain cells.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. What was my thought? Oh yeah, so this week me and my family ended up watching the Full Monty because it's on Disney Plus, the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Full Monty?
I don't know if I have. I've heard of it, and I think I saw like, because it's a musical, isn't it?
No.
No, it's not.
Well, it's about strippers, but like
Right.
it's not a musical.
But there's music performances in it, right?
Yeah, their little strip numbers.
Yeah. Okay. I just feel like there was a time on like when like my family and I went on a cruise way back in the day, and they had like a Broadway night or some sort of like weird night where they had different performances from different musicals and Broadway shows, and I feel like the Full Monty was one of them that they did.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Full Monty has a musical version.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was, because it's they're like they're in the blue suits and stuff, right?
They're in like police officer.
Yeah.
Outfits.
In blue,
Yeah.
police officers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember seeing something like that on that cruise. I don't know why that specific image,
so weird.
but yeah, that's all I know from it.
Such a strange cruise, but sure, I'm down.
Right?
What was my thought? But yeah, we were rewatching the first movie because now it's a series on Disney Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, through Star, 8 episodes.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting is the word I would use for that.
Oh Lord,
we're only 2 episodes in, and I'm just like, oh
no.
What was my thought? Well, let me restart. So, the Full Monty, the original movie, is about these 5 guys. It's not really... I guess they all worked at the steel factory, I guess, at some point. But basically, they're 5 guys who are now out of a job. A lot of them worked at the steelworks factory, and they all lost their jobs. So they spend a lot of their days at this, like, job searching place. Speaking of looking for jobs. And yeah, they spend all day trying to find jobs. And one of the characters, I've already forgotten his name, but he has a son. And so right now he's trying to battle for not sole custody, but joint custody. But his ex-wife's like, you're not even paying the child support, so I don't see why you should have custody of your son at all. And so he comes up with this crazy idea with his mates to put on a strip show for the ladies. Basically trying to make some quick cash money. Nothing long term. And the movie is funny. It has its funny moments. It's very British, so it has very British humor in it.
Ah, yes.
And, oh God, it came out in 1997.
Sounds right.
So they've been advertising 26 years later. And I mean, the whole thing was that a lot of these, like, there was a couple young guys, but there's a couple guys, like, who were in, like, their, like, older gentlemen, you know, because the whole idea was, like, it shouldn't matter. Like, we're all gonna, you know, give it a try. Like, who cares about our age or our weight and stuff like that. And it's, like, this little endearing movie with, you know, the guys coming together. Mm-hmm. It's all good for a laugh. So now I don't know why they decided to make a series. And, of course, it's now set almost 26 years, you know, after the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh, my God. Like I said, we went through the first 2 episodes, and they're just so sad.
Oh, no, really?
I really haven't been it's just been so sad. And, I mean, like I said about the first movie, to a degree, like, the first movie, like, there is this undertone of sadness of, like, these guys losing their jobs and, like, trying to figure out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, like, it's not like, you know, I expected some of that, but, like, not to this degree.
Yeah.
Although in the first episode, I was already kind of rolling my eyes. Because again, like I said, like, the cast is aged. And some of them I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm surprised you're still alive. So, like, in the first episode, they have so much, like, boomer... I don't even know. It's not even called boomer humor, but just being like, this generation's so weird. And I'm like... This is the best we can do. 26 later. It was pretty fucking cringy. Because they were talking about how you can't say love to people anymore. They're like, I say love to everybody. And I'm like... I'm like, okay, whatever. And then, like, their shop, they have to, like, change the name because they're like, someone didn't like it because it sounds like like sounds like someone's butt, like it sounds like a butt, I guess. Like I don't know. I was very uninterested when they started talking. I was like, oh my god, I'm like this, no, 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 no. But then like they actually shift to things that I think are important, because like one of the characters' horse, he is an older man now, and it's him trying to like navigate the world, and he's like, he lives alone, and like there's this scene where he like goes to the store to get his food, but he's having difficulties using the machines, and then even when he figures it out, they're like, oh yeah, just pay with card, and he's like, but I don't have a card. He just like carries cash. So then he walks home alone, and he eats his, you know, meal alone, and it's like, ah, man, like that, it tugs at you a little bit, because you're like, oh man, like you would never hope that, you know, like an older adult in your life is put in those situations, but like, I mean, it happens. And so like they're trying to focus these lenses on like these pretty like serious issues, but I'm just like, oh my god, are they gonna start stripping? Like when's the happiness
when
gonna come?
The stripping happen? Where's the bacon?
Where's the bacon? Right? So I mean, apart from like, yeah, the ultra cringe, it's been just a lot of like very depressing, like it's just very sad. And like this second episode we just watched, it had like a suicide, you know, prevention thing at the end, being like, hey, if you know someone who's suffering, like reach out to these resources. And you're like,
dang.
Because obviously I don't want to get too much into it, but like there was a storyline based on like a poor, you know, young kid trying to commit suicide. And I mean, luckily in the story, like he's okay, you know, but it's just like, whew.
Yeah.
We got to the end and I was like, Full Monty, what is happening?
Like this is not what I expected at all.
Absolutely. Like I said, like even in the first one, there is this undertone of sadness and like these guys trying to figure it out. So I'm hoping we're going to get to the part where we're going to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, it's been 2 back-to-back, very depressing. Like, oh my god.
Oh man.
And of course, my favorite, well, I mean, I guess they're the only couple in the show right now. They're not doing so hot. It was kind of weird because like in the first movie, it was, what's his name? I want to call him Jack, but his name's not Jack, but his wife is Jeannie.
Okay.
And in the first movie, he was going through a lot of like, you know, body image issues as a guy, you know, and I think that was probably pretty progressive at the time, because like, you know, they were just like, oh, men, they don't care. And it's like, no, like everyone's very self-conscious about their bodies, and you shouldn't be shamed for that.
Yeah.
And so he thought like his weight was affecting his relationship, and his wife Jeannie's like, no, I love you, like I don't care. And he was like, oh, but now Jeannie's cheating on him in this series.
What?
And I'm like, I don't know if I can watch now.
Oh my gosh.
Like, Jeannie, what's going on, girl?
What happened?
What's going on, girl? Again, it's just so sad.
Wow.
I recommend, like, if, like, I'd say Full Monty's still a fun movie. Like, if you want to go watch it, I'd recommend it on Disney Plus. The show so far, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna have to take a big turn in episode 3, otherwise.
Yeah, it really needs to wow you at this point now.
Yeah.
Dang.
Although my mom was saying she was watching interviews with all the characters, so maybe I'll have to start looking up and see if I can find extra stuff. Not to say like the Full Monty doesn't deserve a TV series, but I just feel like out of all the content in the world, I'm like, why did this particular movie get a series?
Yeah.
You know? So I am curious to see if maybe there was ever any intentions to make more films and that just never happened, and then they got this greenlit maybe, or
maybe, yeah.
Because sometimes it takes a very long time, because I can't remember what I was watching. It was an interview about Ted Lasso. Maybe it was with Brandon Hunt, Coach Beard, who was saying like it's like the series has been knocking around for like 10 years or something before it even, you know, made it to Apple.
That. Yeah.
So like, you know, sometimes things do take, unfortunately, a very long time to like get the ball moving.
Yeah.
As we were talking about earlier today. But yeah, so I'm maybe I'll do some like internet sleuthing to see. Because again, it feels weird. Like, I don't want to knock anybody for being like, you shouldn't have made that.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's awesome, you know? If people get the opportunity, you know, to be creative, I think that's great. But it just felt like I just didn't feel like there was a calling or a desire to be like, when's the Full Monty going to get a sequel?
You know what needs a reboot? This movie.
Right? So I was like, this is very bizarre.
Yeah.
So, like I said, maybe I'll do some internet sleuthing. And if I ever find something interesting, I will let y'all all know.
There you go. Perfect. You heard it here first, people.
Do the research.
Do the research.
And we'll see what I can find.
Nice. I've heard some exciting news that Stephen Amell's show Heels second season should be premiering fairly soon.
Yeah, he was talking about merch drop.
Yeah, he was.
I'm like, who are you, a YouTuber? I'm just kidding. Everybody's gotta have merch.
Well, he's a big WWE fan, so if he can try to get his own wrestling merch through this, I feel like that would be like his ultimate dream.
He's like, oh, I did it, guys.
I don't
know why he's Australian, but he is now. He's very Australian.
Ooh, Australian Stephen Amell.
What could be better? My last random thought in my head. I don't know if you saw. Not that not that you wouldn't care. What are words? I don't know if general people would really give a shit. But Anthony is back at SMOSH.
Is he?
Him and Ian, I guess, rebought the company from Mythical, so now they own SMOSH again. So he's coming back on the channel.
Oh, look at that. That's cool. That's exciting.
I was like, this is really fucking weird.
Well, I mean, I feel like they were like the forefathers, part of the forefathers of YouTube.
Right.
So that's like back in our day, right?
Right. Well, it's weird. I remember watching like the first ever SMOSH video where they did the Pokemon song. Mm-hmm. And occasionally like their Pokemon trainer videos on the wild. But I never really watched a whole lot of SMOSH.
Oh, I love SMOSH.
Like, in like the what would be considered the peak of SMOSH.
Right.
I feel like I watched SMOSH more in their Defy days after they sold their company to Defy.
Oh, okay.
And it might have been even after Anthony left SMOSH that I was consuming their content more. Which is funny, because a lot of people hated the fact that Anthony left and that there were all these new people. Yeah. And I was like, I really like all these new people. Oh, they're considered new people? Oh, I actually really like them.
Well, wasn't the one guy, didn't one guy either come from or go to Saturday Night Live from SMOSH? I could be wrong, but I swear there's one dude on there, at least he was on a few episodes that I watched, where I recognized him from SNL. But he was on SMOSH, so I don't know if he was guest starring for a few episodes or if like he was a part of the cast for a little while.
Maybe they do obviously hire quite a few comedians.
Yeah, on the show, on their channel, so
maybe that wouldn't surprise me. But like now, I need to do internet sleuthing now,
right?
that sounds pretty cool.
I just remember seeing that and be like, oh hey, I know that guy from SNL. But yeah, no, my sister and I used to love watching SMOSH back in the day. Like the first video we ever saw was the Pokemon one, and then there was the Mortal Kombat one that they did together. Mm-hmm. And then we used to watch, there was a few other little like home video vlogs that they did. And then they started doing, if movies were in real life. Yeah, I loved those ones. And there was like if video games were in real life, ones as well. And then there was a thing that Ian and Anthony used to do where they'd have like lunchtime with SMOSH. I cannot remember the official title of what it was, but it was a vlog that they would do together, and they would just go out and grab some random food from somewhere, or they'd go to, actually I think it's what started, for me at least, it's what started the whole going to TNT and grabbing like a bunch of different candy, is because they'd have their fans send them random candy from all over the world. Yeah. And a lot of it was like from Asia or just like Japan, like China, different places on in the eastern part of the world, and they'd try it on camera and like just give their review of it and everything. And Kelsey and I used to love watching them do that, and then that would inspire us to want to go to TNT and like get a bunch of candy to try ourselves.
That reminds me, I have some peach Kit Kats we have to eat at some point.
Ooh, yes.
Get them going. Yeah, I think, what else did I watch of their... Yeah, I watched more of their newer stuff. Like, they had, like, every Starbucks ever, like, every ever blank series that I really liked. And then I think it's because I started watching a lot of their game content, too. And I found it very enjoyable.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, they went through, as kind of like, I think like everybody goes through life changes, and some people either really liked it, and some people really didn't like it.
Right?
But, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what more content they're going to produce. Again, because like I said, I don't know if anyone really watches SMOSH anymore, but like, it's funny because I think I probably watched more SMOSH than I ever did as a teenager, so.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting, I guess. And I mean, I don't want to blame the algorithm, but I feel it is the algorithm's fault.
Everything's the algorithm's fault.
It is, because especially on like, I don't know, I was going to call it a For You page, but that's not what it's called. But it's just interesting, like, what it serves up to you.
Yeah.
And so, like, I get to a degree that maybe, like, yeah, some people don't watch anymore because maybe it's just not recommended. Because all it takes is, like, you don't watch, like, 1 or 2 videos, and then it's, like, you're never recommended stuff from a certain channel ever again.
Yeah.
Even though they're still creating content.
Yep.
What did I hear recently? What was it called? Oh, it's a war for your attention.
Yep.
More than your money. It's all about your attention. So, although I was thinking about maybe I should start unplugging a little more, but like that's gonna happen today. It's fucking raining. I'm gonna fucking watch everything. Yay!
Yay! Yep.
But yeah, that was random tangent. But
that's interesting though. That's kind of cool that he's back. I feel like they're probably gonna have a lot of fun stuff to do. I'm sure they'll probably do a few throwbacks, maybe.
Yes. What was my thought? Yeah, I think they said because again, they have like 500 channels. They said most of the other channels' content will stay the same, but they're very excited to do sketches again, so.
Nice. That's cool.
Like, I don't know. Even if you don't care for it, and again, sketches don't seem to do very well on YouTube anymore, it's one of those things where it's like, because it seems like they're very genuinely happy about it, it's hard not to then feel happy about it as well.
Yeah.
That, like, infectious, I don't know what it's called. Placebo effect? I don't know. Seeing other people happy makes you happy? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a strange effect. Oh, but I think that'll do it for today's episode. Yeah, 31 minutes. We're good. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments on today's episode, leave it in the comments down below. I know we touched upon horror, foliage, and the Full Monty. If you
Full
have
Monty,
any,
yeah.
Please don't do the Full Monty in the comments down below. We will not appreciate it. Leave us a deuce if you know, you know. And consider subscribing to 2 pretty cool gals, in my opinion. And anyways, Cinephilies, we'll see you next time. Watch all the content. Stay warm, apparently, in summer, even though summer
stay
starts
dry
tomorrow.
Yeah,
stay warm and dry. I'm crazy.
Yeah, and happy first day of summer tomorrow. But
That's
technically, it'll already have been summer when this episode comes out. So happy summer!
Happy summer, people! Alright, guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
Monkey,
Monkey, monkey.
And slay.